In the case of the famous A+, the investigation is still ongoing, and there are talks with him with respect to the role that he will play, either in respect of providing evidence against those who try to do what is alleged to have been done, or if at the end of the day no agreement is reached, then maybe he will have to stand trial. That is where we are with respect. So the investigations are ongoing. We haven't concluded with him yet. The investigators were supposed to go to Parliament and do the interrogation in Parliament. And at the last time that they made a request, they could not do the interrogation. Now, in terms of the timing of prosecution, there have been a number of developments that came in very late. So as late as yesterday in the evening, we met in the office with one of the principal actors who is offering, to provide us with evidence. In other words, the person wants a non-prosecution, agreement. So we've asked that the lawyer should, she should go, and she and the lawyers should go and then bring the proposal for us to examine and then see what what can be done. Okay, so we are thinking that in the next 2 weeks we will be able to evaluate all of those proposals, including the fact that suspect Jamefi was rearrested. We'll have to look into the additional accounts, and then in the next 2 weeks we can deal with all those issues, and by the first week of July we should be filing charges against them. Now, someone asked, why the press briefing? This is a perennial question that I get all the time. The detractors of oral, that is those who do not want or are not enamored of the oral agenda, would usually say that this is persecution, a persecution of the suspects in the media, or prosecution of the suspects in the media. Now, the United States of America is one of the world's oldest democracy, okay? And U.S. prosecutors, district attorneys, or even the Attorney General of the United States of America, when they conclude investigations, they brief the press on their findings. Sometimes they file the charges and come out of the courtroom to brief the press on the charges that have been filed. There is nothing absolutely wrong with this. So those who think that accounting to the people, if you look at the meaning of the word accountability simply means to explain one's actions. And so we have a duty to account to the people of this country. And so when I'm taking prosecutorial decisions, I need to account to the people of our country for the decisions that I take. So this is the whole essence of the exercise, and especially within the context of oral. We don't want any situation where we file charges and then we are being told that we have just decided to persecute people because of their political leanings. In all the press briefings that I have done, I have not mentioned or connected any political party to the actions of the people that I arrest and investigate. Okay? So the idea of doing this is not in order to make any political party look bad or any faction in our Ghanaian politics look bad. What we are doing is simply to account to the people of this country. And it doesn't matter how many times it is said, I will continue to account to the people of this country through the press briefings that the press engagements that we do from time to time. Then, what are the criteria for an NPA? And then somebody asked, what is the difference between an NPA, that is a non-prosecution agreement, and a plea bargain? A non-prosecution agreement is an aspect of the plea bargain. A plea bargain is simply a negotiation between the prosecutor and a person suspected of the commission of a crime, okay, that may turn out to achieve a number of objectives. Okay, so sometimes you drop the charges in exchange for the payment of a fine or a penalty, sometimes you drop the charges so that that person will serve as a witness, and because the person was proximate to the commission of the crime, they will have information that is compelling enough to prove your charges for you. All right? So we do plea bargaining, and one of the outcomes of a plea bargain may be an NPA, that is a non-prosecution agreement. Okay, so that means that when we sign the non-prosecution agreement, we usually would immunize that person, grant that person indemnity from prosecution on certain conditions, or sometimes unconditionally. Okay, so it is guided by some considerations in the context of the prosecution itself or the criminal justice system. And by the way, in Ghana we have the Plea Bargain Act, which is an amendment to Act 30 that allows the Attorney General to enter into a plea deal. And by the way, just by way of public information, I have never, okay, and I want to repeat that, I have never approached anybody who is under prosecution now or who will be prosecuted for a plea deal. I've seen on social media allegations that I charge someone and then subsequently I'm asking the person for a plea deal. I'm always in my office quietly and they send people to come to me and then seek, audience as to whether I am amenable to a plea deal. All right? And until such a time that we achieve the plea deal, we normally don't announce it, to the public. So that is what a bargain is. And then the NPA can be a result. That is, the non-prosecution agreement can be the result of plea negotiations. The last question was with respect to what His Excellency, the President, said regarding the freezing of assets. What we froze were their bank accounts. All right? What we froze were their bank accounts. Okay? But they may have other assets, such as houses, okay, apartment blocks, cars, and so on. Okay? Those are the subject matter of the investigation that is taking place now. And as I said in the first, press conference, which was on the Kwabena Edubonhe, investigation, I said we normally do contemporaneous investigation of the crime, the criminal enterprise, as well as the, asset recovery. All right. So we are using the same approach now, but with this one, it is slower because of the fact that, if once we begin the prosecution, you will understand that they were doing mostly cash transactions. Okay? Someone, will go and take the cash from the bank and then go and give it to one of the directors or one of the staff and so on and so on and so forth. Okay? So, unlike the previous investigation where the documentary trail was very easy and then led us to certain assets that the person owned, because some of them were owned by his companies and so on. In this case, it is a bit different.